Hello there and welcome to the new Tableau Advanced Data Visualization tutorial where we will going to look at the survey dashboard. Now it can be a survey for a restaurant or for your own company or a government, anything. But the idea is what I want to show you in this video is how you can create a chart like this, which sort of looks like a Gantt chart. But the interesting part is that it is a divided chart. So if you see, this is the boundary over here, and anything which is prior to this boundary is coded as red. That means things are not working well. And over here on the right hand side, it is coded as blue, or it can be green, or whatever color of your choice to indicate the things which are going good. So for example, just by looking at this chart, you can clearly see that food is where you are working really well, but server is the category where you are not working very well. And then you can further bifurcate this chart by gender, type of customer, and age range for further drill down into the information and pinpoint where actually the problem is coming and what are the things you need to do. So for example, by the type of customer, so casual customers are giving you the more problem as compared to the one-off customer. Similarly, if you see, food is where one-off customer are giving you more negative rating as compared to the frequent customer. So things like this you can keep exploring once you have a chart like this, which shows you a clear boundary where in the entire chart, so that you are aware where the boundary is present and what is present on the right side, what is present on the left side. Left indicate negative and or the bad results, and positive or the good results are on the right hand side. So let's go ahead and see how we can create this chart. Alright, so let's go ahead and build this dashboard step by step. So for that, what I'll do is first I will create a new dashboard so that we are starting from the scratch without picking up anything old. And I close this. What I'll do is connect with the data and Microsoft Excel file. You can find this file in the resources link. And then here is the information for the restaurant survey data, where you have age, you have answer. So again, by the age also you can explore answer. This is the answer that they have given, the negative count, the category, the email address, and location, question, score. Score is again based on the answer. So highly satisfied is 4. Where it has gone, score over here, whereas the rest of the score, so 1 is probably highly dissatisfied, like I figured it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is highly dissatisfied, 2 is dissatisfied, 3 is satisfied, and highly satisfied is 4. After that, you have some question coding and then response ID and type of customer and things like that, the start date of the survey and all. So let's move on to the sheet 1. And first of all, if we try to create a survey dashboard, I mean, usually what you do is basically take the any of the existing charts. So one of the existing chart which is more meaningful for this type of visualization is a stack bar chart. So what I mean by that is, let me show you over here. So what I have is basically the category, and along with category, what do I have is scores. So for various different categories, I have various different scores. And let me create a chart like this. So here is a chart, and if I put it like this, so cleanliness, food, reception, survey from waiter. Now what I need to do is put a category over here on the rows, and one can see that food is really winning the category. Cleanliness is where we are slightly less than food. Reception and server is really bad, but it does not really tell me how much, I mean how bad they are. So what probably one can do is you can bring another category which was based on the score. So that was, if I just try to recollect, is the answer. So if I just come over here and show you that, so over here you have dissatisfied, which is here, you have highly dissatisfied, which is here, highly satisfied, which is here, and then cleanliness for satisfied, it is here. Probably what you can do is maybe sort it in a way you like it. So maybe this way you have highly so this is only satisfied, then highly satisfied, highly dissatisfied, and dissatisfied. It shows you the information, but your user or you will have to do a lot of work as compared to the chart which I showed you, which is this chart where you clearly see for each category how much bad it is, how much good it is, and where is actually the boundary line. Along with that, you have the score. So this score is not an issue, you can still get it, but creating this chart is where the information really lies. And this chart is basically called, or it's adopted from the Likert scale. Likert scale is created by the gentleman by the surname Likert, and the basic purpose was to measure the survey data based on the responses that we are getting. So with that, we will just try over here how we can automate it and use it with this beautiful visualization, so that we don't have to view a visualization, or we don't have this very busy visualization on which we have to do a lot of work. So to create a Likert scale, we need to understand couple of calculations which will basically build the Likert scale step by, or the survey chart step by step. So to help you understand this, what I'll do is create, and I'll give it the name here as metrics. If we are done with these, once we are done with these metrics, that's pretty much all we have to just replicate in the other charts. So the first thing is, let me bring the categories over here. Where is that? Category and their respective answers, so how they are doing. So very first thing is basically the number of records over here. So how many number of records that you overall have in each of the category. Now in these records, how many negative records, that means records which are dissatisfied and highly dissatisfied. That means if I have showed you the rating, right? Rating which is 1 or 2. So anything which is below than 3 is negative rating. So we will create a calculated field over here and give it a name as count negative, and we will say if score is less than 3. So what we are doing is we are saying then, oops, what is going on? Something wrong with my keyboard or what? If then, yeah, something is issue with my keyboard itself. THEN Let me just try to recreate this. Something is odd over here. Create calculated field, count negative, if score is less than 3, then still not okay. Then what do we want is 1, else 0, and then end. Something weird my screen is doing, as you can see, but that's the formula which we wanted. So let's click apply and OK. So now we have count negative. So from each of these categories, we will going to figure it out what is basically the negative count. So what I'll do is I'll just put it over here and then convert it into a text, and then count negative over here. So now you see, if I make it entire view, so total number of records is this, and count negative is also, if you see, 16, 8, 52. So this is not coming properly. So what do we need is basically come over here, quick table calculation or add table calculation, specific dimension, and by alright answer down category over here. Nope. Okay, let me just recollect this. Also, one more thing which I recollect is this should be for each category. We should have a count like this, that how many in each category, how many are dissatisfied, satisfied, dissatisfied, satisfied, and all. And now let me take this count negative. It should work fine now. Show me, and over here. So so now we need to apply the over here, hold on, count negative. So now you see for these two categories, dissatisfied and highly dissatisfied, we have the negative count over here, that in these categories there are the negative count which is coming. But for those where positive count, which is highly satisfied and satisfied, you have 0, and that is what we wanted to achieve with this calculation. After that, what we need is the sum of all of these count values. So what I'll do is I'll create a calculated field as total negative count, and we will say total count negative, click. Alright, so this is here. So this calculation field must be aggregated when, okay, total sum of count negative, click OK, total negative count. So now the total negative count is coming over here. It's just that we need to change the compute using the category. So now we clearly know based on these categories where the negative count is present, and what it has done is taken the sum, and based on this we can basically calculate the start position of the chart, which is, if I show you over here, hold on here, so you have this category which is starting from left. So in Tableau, if you see, left is nothing but the negative side of it, and this is nothing but 0, right? And whatever is coming on the right side is basically positive side. So what we need to do is we have to start from negative and go until positive based on the negative and positive rating. Alright, so let's come here. So we have figured it out this, and I will just do the reversal of what I did earlier, like answer and category, because I see that this categories should be present in each of these categories to create a Likert scale. So what I'll do is just come back to where we were originally. So now from here in the cleanliness we have 188, 195 and 0 and 0 for satisfied and highly satisfied. So this way we will calculate in the next steps the positive values, which you will see how it is moving ahead from negative to positive. So for each of the categories we will have from negative scale, which is highly dissatisfied, 195, to a very positive scale. So we will convert into a negative in the next couple of steps. So now what I'll do is I will create one more field for finding the proportion or percentage, which is total count. Earlier we did the total negative count, but now we will do the sum of number of records. So this is the total count. Click apply, OK. So now we have total count over here. So total count is this. We just need to compute it based on the this answer over here. So now for each of the category, we have the overall count of this entire table. So if you will basically look at the overall count, that's what you will see for these categories. Like if you will sum this is what will come. If you will sum this, you will get 128. So that means overall 128 responses that we have got in each category. What I'll do is I will just click on entire view so that this is coming properly. After this, what do we need is basically the finding the start position, and start position, like I told you, is the negative position. So what I'll create a calculator. So this is basically the Gantt chart we will creating. So we will give a same name as Gantt start, and here I will say negative total negative count. So this, what we have done is whatever negative count we have counted for these categories, we are just giving the negative sign so that start from the negative area or on the left hand side. Negative divided by total count. So what it gives is basically the proportion. So now we can put the Gantt start over here and then change the compute using to answer, and then you can even format it little bit. So format number percentage, and you get the percentage, which is basically the start position. So it should start at negative 26.56. Now what we need to do is basically figure it out the position. So this is the position where the highly dissatisfied will be present. But what will be the position of dissatisfied, then satisfied, then highly satisfied? So let's figure it out that. Okay, so to do that, what one thing we can do is first of all put them into a right order. So if I just come over here, click on the sort, and then manual. So first we need highly dissatisfied, then dissatisfied, then satisfied. So I'll just move down here. All right, so now we have proper. So it should start from highly dissatisfied, which is minus 26.56, then dissatisfied, then satisfied, then highly satisfied. Okay, so the next calculation is basically the proportion of each of these values. That means the number of records divided by the total count. So what I'll do is come over here and give it a name as percentage, and what I'll do is sum of over here number of records divided by total count. Click apply, OK, and put it over here. So now we have something which is like this, and if I just format this again into percentage, so what do we get over here is 14.06% is basically so if you divide 18 by 128, so for example if I give you the calculator over here, so let me just drag it. So you have 18 divided by 128, what you get is 14.06%, and that's what you have got, and that's what it is going on over here. All right, now the next point is we already know that it should start from 26.56%. so the logical next position is negative 26.56% plus 14.06. that means we are shifting. So if I put again calculation, just so that you know the row calculation. So negative 26.56 minus 14.06. Oops. Negative 26.56 plus 14.06. So the next position will be 12.5. After that, next position will be, so this is basically what you got, 12.5, and then once you add the negative 12.5, you add another 12.5, which is the next value. What you will get is basically 0. That means you will get that border line which I was referring to you, and after that you will find the next position by adding 15.63 over here. So the next position will be 15.63, and then you will find next position by adding the 57.81. So it's a recursive calculation which will continue, so we need to prepare that. So to calculate that, what we need is basically the another calculation or the calculated field. So what I'll do is come over here, create calculated field, and name this as Gantt percent movement, or just Gantt percent. So the first thing what we want to get is basically the previous values, right? So whenever the Gantt is starting over here, we need that value. So what we are going to call is previous value Gantt start, and then we want to add into this, like I showed you, that negative 26.56, you need to add the percentage. So what we will going to say is lookup percentage comma minus 1. That means if you are in this row, then look up this. If you are in this row, then look up this. That's why you will going to add. But what we will going to do with the first row, since in first row nothing is present prior to that, so we will going to use the formula which is Zn, which converts the null value into 0. Okay, so now this basically takes the Gantt start value over here, add it to the percentage over here. So if we just click apply and OK, and put it over here. Now if I just in the format show you the percentage. Okay, so what we are getting is basically it's starting from negative 26, then the next position what you get is 12.5, then once you add negative 12.5 to this, you get 0, and then what you get is in 0, if you add 15.63, you get 15.63, and this way your entire calculation will be dynamic. But the only catch is if you go down, it is doing the continuation. So only thing we need to do is come over here and say compute using answer. So this way it will be present for each of their respective answer. So now for this answer, it is starting from negative 14.06 going up till 7.03, and this is basically the calculation is deciding from where it is starting, so negative 14.6, and where up until it is going, which is 7.03. So this is the crux of the all the calculations which you need to create a chart like this. All right, now let's create the chart. So we will create a category chart over here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is put the Gantt percent over here. So if you see, I have already selected the Gantt bar. You can change it whenever you want, but make sure that Gantt bar is selected from here. So we have the Gantt percent, then we have the category. Where is that? So now we have category and Gantt percent. Now we will put the answer on color just to get their ratings information, And then for filling that up, we need percentage to pull that up on the size so that we will get this chart. Okay, so now if I just make sure that they are calculating it correctly, compute using answer, and over here also I will just need to make sure that compute using answer. So now if you see, you have dissatisfied, highly dissatisfied, highly satisfied, and then satisfied category. So what it is doing is just putting it in the slightly incorrect order. So what you can do is you can come over here and drag this up so it will move here. So highly dissatisfied, dissatisfied, then highly satisfied will go down. This way you will have your chart like this, which is clearly indicating on the left hand side values and right hand side value. Now the last piece is changing the color. So come over here in the edit color. So first I will select the red palette. So for highly dissatisfied, what I can choose is maybe this. For dissatisfied, this. And now I will choose blue. For satisfied, I will choose this. And for highly satisfied, I will choose this. Click apply and OK. So now it looks way much better than earlier, clearly indicating the darker red, that means the more problems, and darker blue or maybe the darker green is the positive side, right? So this is the minimum what we need to do. Now what about putting the average ratings over here? So what we can do is we can basically take the score over here. This should be the average score. So I'll just select the average. Now from here I will remove the percentile and answer. Just make sure you are in average score, right? And from Gantt, change this to circle. Now for label, show the label, and alignment should be center. Then the size of the circle should be slightly larger. All right, based on the chart. So we can further modify this, but I just will do the white as the color, and I will format this to show 1.9, 1.8. That means only one decimal. So I'll come here and format, and in that I will say percentage and 1. Oops, not percentage. Number custom 1.9 and all. Now what I can do is make it a dual axis, and to bring them inside it we need to just make sure, come over here in edit axis, fixed. Since the values are starting, or the scoring is starting from 1 and going up until 4, we will do that and then close this. So now you will see they have placed automatically on the bar. So 3.2 indicates that higher on the higher side, 1.9 indicate on the left side, so they are aligning perfectly. So now I will just right click and uncheck the show header, right click, uncheck the show header. Oops, where I've gone, show header, and then I will just expand this little bit so that they fit perfectly fine on the bar. Furthermore, and I just need to make sure that size is slightly less to align it properly with the formatting for the score. So now this looks fine, and this is something which is at the minimum we need to do. The next thing is removing these lines and all. So maybe I can just right click, hide the label, right click over here in the format, not in the alignment, but I guess over here in the rows, row divider we don't need anything, header we don't need anything. Similarly for column we don't need anything, and header is also we don't need anything. All right, yeah, so that is basically the chart. And now what you can do is right click, duplicate. Now you can say category by gender, so you can pull in the gender information over here. So drag this here and your chart will be updated. So what I'll do is I will make it entire view. Your chart will be updated accordingly. Just need to make sure that circle size is proper over here, so that in the front end or in the dashboard you don't get any issue. So this is done, and then once you are done with this, then you have type of customer, so you can duplicate this, and you must have type of customer, replace gender. Now in this case just shrink the size or reduce the size of circle to some extent, and then finally I think so we'll call it category by customer type, and then finally one more. So we'll click on duplicate, and over here we will say category by age range. So you can create based on the dimensions which is present to you, and then you know what makes sense most to you is something you can create like I said based on the dimension. So where is that age? Alright, I'll just pull it over here. Oops, Control Z. I will change this to dimension. Where are you? Convert to dimension, and over here. So now we have by age category as well. Now finally what you can do is pull this entire thing into the dashboard so that it makes a lot of sense. And to do that, first thing is having the text for the restaurant survey. So RESTAURANT, restaurant survey dashboard. It can be restaurant or it can be anything. I mean, give it proper highlighting, bold, make it maybe black, whatever color suits as per your company style. So restaurant survey dashboard. After that we will pull in the category. So I have moved on the category over here. Then after that by gender, sorry, I need to pull in down there. So just need to make sure I'm coming over here. Gender by customer type and by the age range. As you can see, it's a very busy dashboard, so we will just drag this up a little bit, and we have categories properly. All right, so we can reduce the size of this. So what we can do is we can come over here in category and we can call it entire view, and in the dashboard, now if I just try to change this, or maybe again category, I will just replace, I'll close this and pull the category once again. So now it will, you can see it's adjustable. That's what I wanted. So by changing into the entire view, which I just did, you can make it adjustable. And now if I just increase, looks fine over here. Now what we need is some proper alignment. We need this, but we need it probably here. As you can see, if we just try this little bit, and this will give us the proper, so we don't need answer as a category, so we we can remove that. So we have legends at the top, or we can remove this hide title, or you can give whatever meaningful title if you want to give it. Similarly, category by gender, I can edit the title, and what I'll do is I will make it 10 and bold. Click apply. So now it will, similarly for this, 10 bold, apply. Similarly for this, 10 bold, apply, and OK. So now you see we have way much better. It's just that now it's a matter of formatting, the formatting that we want over here. Reservation process, so for female, male, and then drag this little bit. Similarly for here, you have values which has been shrink, so maybe over here you can come and you can change from 900 or make it 1000, but it will change the overall size, so you can reduce it as per your needs. And this way your chart is coming along, as you can see. Alright, so this is again a personal choice, how much you want to format or how much you want to increase. The last thing which I'll do is, since this does not create a clear demarcation or a divider should come, so last thing which I'll do is I'll add blank over here. Come over here, and what I wanted is basically the so this should be blank, and in the layout what I want is gray color and reduce its size. Now it should show me the width of this. So width, I am just trying to reduce its width. Or one thing which I can probably do is this, if it shows this, I select this item. Alright, it has border. We can create a border for these, as you can see this. If this makes sense, again very personal choice how we want to do that. So we have created a borders. If we just create some space for this chart, so now the border is being created. Another thing which you can do is, if I just uncheck this, is increasing the size. If I come to dashboard, you can increase the width as well. As you can see, I just increased the width, and so the charts down there is coming properly. So again, how much we want to show. So now this chart is clearly indicating or clearly showing you all the information that you want to display. But that's mainly I wanted to show you how you can create and customize the survey chart. So whenever you have a survey, you should have this template where you can fill in the data and the chart will be populated for you, and that looks way more meaningful than any other chart if you will try to use into your dashboard. So that's about it, and I will meet you in the next Tableau dashboard with some new cool topic.